Yeah, well, let's get started, especially since, we kind of got a late start to today's space, just so we're able to, finish up on time. But today we're joined by Chris and Alex from the Nansen account. Thank you guys very much for joining us today. It's good to sit with a very, like-minded brand in the Web3 space. SVS, although being a PFP project, we've been very tech oriented in the sense that just from the beginning, ever since December, we did our collaboration with Scream and Paramount Pictures that involved on-chain raffles and use of our blood utility token. Leading up to this year when we released the Blood Shop more recently. I believe it's been a little bit over a month since that's happened, where it's another use case for a utility token, where holders can enter raffles, purchase gift cards, and things like that. IRL based items. But we're also glad to kind of extend our offering of digital products as well. With our collaboration with Nansen, providing our community and our holders with such a strong and robust I guess blockchain exploration tools. But so thank you guys very much for joining us today.
That's our pleasure. Thanks for having Alex and I on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. It's definitely a pleasure for us as well. Do you guys for those of the vamps who may have joined more recently, could you guys give like a little outline of what Nansen is and what you guys kind of have to offer?
Absolutely. I'd be happy to. So what we do here at Nansen is we not only aggregate on-chain data from a variety of different blockchains, and then we place that data into easy to digest dashboards so you can really help surface the signal from the noise on the blockchain. So it helps to make identifying opportunities easier. And then our big value adds on Nansen is our ability to enrich our on-chain data with behavioral wallet labels. So what that means is we have the ability to track the most profitable entities on the blockchain, understand their behaviors and what type of transactions they're partaking in, and that can help the everyday trader to kind of use that as a potential strategy for themselves. And in addition to that, not only do we aggregate the data, place it into dashboards, enrich it with behavioral labels, but we also have some tools called smart alerts. And these smart alerts will allow you to track these profitable entities that we call smart money on Nansen. So you can be alerted when different activities take place in real time from these smart money entities. So that's kind of Nansen in a nutshell.
Yeah, the smart money feature that you guys have, where you guys kind of, be you guys require the user to be kind of less hands-on, I guess, and kind of do the work for them, is honestly such a great feature because for someone just starting out, or even more people who are veteran traders and NFTs and crypto, they're kind of able to follow these wallets already labeled smart money. So it's definitely a great feature that you guys, that I haven't seen anywhere else. And it's amazing that you guys offer it.
Yeah, like you said, it's whether you're starting out trading or you're a seasoned veteran when it comes to trading, you can find a label that identifies with your strategy and use that to help enrich your current strategy or build a new one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess Nansen, you guys are also always tweeting interesting use cases and hacks and different things like that. Not, malicious, of course, but ways to kind of leverage Nansen to your benefit. But one use case I've seen it has been the kind of like almost mirroring of alphas, right? Or even finding your own smart money wallets. Can you kind of explain how that's done through using Nansen?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you mentioned, we identify those profitable entities on the blockchain. So the way that we do it is 99.9% of these labels are going to be automated. So it's kind of like an if this then that statement. For example, we have a label called Smart NFT Trader. So a smart NFT trader is going to be one of the top 100 most profitable NFT traders in terms of their realized profits. And then they also need to be in the top 100 in terms of our internal trade metric score. So if if an entity meets this criteria, we then label them as a smart NFT trader, and a lot of that is done on an automated basis. But for some of the labels that are a little bit more of a challenge to identify that aren't necessarily if this then that statements, such as crypto funds. Once we're able to confirm one crypto fund wallet, one fund name could be Parify, for example. We're then able to take a look at the relationships between that original wallet and others to kind of identify what crypto funds are doing with their capital, and that's probably more on the token side of things. But to answer your question, we have an attribution team who's responsible for the labels, and they do a fantastic job. They'll only label things they're 100% certain of, and if they're not, then we're not going to place a label on it.
Yeah, it's almost even fun so that you guys it's almost even fun that you guys even do that step because one of the hardest steps is usually, getting started. Um, so, having that step already done for you, you're pretty much off to the fun and games of kind of moving things around and seeing how they work best for you. So that's awesome. So
Exactly.
so how long has Nansen been operating? The space is obviously still very new when compared to Web 2 and all, but how long have you guys been around?
So Nansen kicked things off in 2020, and to be honest, I can't think of a better time to kick off the business. I mean, we saw the COVID crash and then the subsequent bull run, and I think that's lended itself a lot to our success and our growth. And it was just a great opportunity for us to provide data and analytics at such perfect timing when people needed it most.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's when, a lot of people got in, and it's great that you guys launched off there as well. Because as Nansen grew, this whole group of people, this community kind of came up with it as well. So that's amazing to see. Um, I guess you guys have a few different, pricing models. Could you kind of go over those and
Yeah,
kind of, I guess, the reasoning?
absolutely. So most recently, so to take a step back, we actually have four different pricing models. So our most recent release and our entry tier is going to be Nansen Lite. So Nansen Lite gives you access to a few dashboards on Nansen, and there's really no obligation. You can sign up for free and use it as you please. And it's a great way to get started on a data and analytics platform like Nansen for crypto, especially if you may not have any experience and you may not want to kind of dive right in and purchase a subscription. It's a great entry point. And then from there, we have our standard, VIP, and alpha subscriptions. So standard is a fantastic value. I mean, standard gives you access to nearly all of our dashboards that we have on Nansen. Some of the most popular ones to include NFT Paradise, that gives us a market overview of what's taking place in the NFT space of digital assets. In addition to that, we have more NFT tools, token tools, the ability to track smart money, and access to a majority of all the functionality that Nansen has to offer. And then from there, we have our VIP functionality, which has some really key value add benefits. In an increased number of smart alerts. If you need to do analysis on data and you'd like to download it, you can do that with VIP. It can filter out our data, which is a really helpful tool when you're trying to identify specific opportunities. And then you also gain access to new features and early releases. So that's a really big benefit of becoming a Nansen VIP. And then one last thing on VIP is if you're into kind of smart contracts, we have this hot contracts tool, which gives you insights into the largest capital inflows from our smart money depositors and provides you insights on DeFi and NFT contracts. And then lastly, we have our Nansen Alpha, and this is our most premier package. So you get all of the subscription features of a VIP, but in addition to that, you get access to our private Discord community. You get some research reports and exclusive insights. We also do calls every week, which we call war room calls, to take a look at market trends and conditions and understand what may happen next, and kind of what our analysts think. And then there's opportunities for like early stage investments, and we have special workshops and different topics that we have reviews on. So those are kind of the wide span of from Nansen Light all the way to Nansen Alpha and everything in between.
Wow. So for the alpha, do you guys kind of cover like crypto and NFTs and like everything under the same umbrella, or is there a certain focus on a certain thing at a time?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we definitely focus on everything within Nansen Alpha. There are certain aspects of the community that tend to focus maybe more on DeFi, and then some of those who tend to focus more on NFTs. But we have such a strong community that has a lot of experience in just digital assets in general. They provide a lot of value uh, to the Discord chats and community channels. So it's to answer your question, a bit of everything.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's definitely necessary as we've realized as well. From the time we launched our alpha section, which our alpha section is more so intended or was intended to be a way to provide opportunities into other projects. And recently we've kind of decided that we need to revamp it and add more, like alpha. So it's definitely necessary to revamp things as you go, and kind of make sure you don't have all your eggs in one basket, especially in this space. It's everything, moves so quick. So it's definitely great to see that you guys are doing that. Um, well, what are some of the more upcoming? What are some of the more I guess upcoming modules that you guys have planned for Nansen? Is there any sort of, I guess, pun intended, alpha that you guys can provide us?
Gotcha. Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't be able to provide you with, the alpha itself, but I can provide you with some insights. So number one, we actually have a feedback page here at Nansen that takes a look at our roadmap and things that we plan on doing in the future. And it's all voted on by the Nansen Explorers community. So if anyone would like to take a look at that, it's nansen.canny, canny.io. And there you can take a look at all those things that I mentioned, the roadmap, plans, and where we've made progress. In addition to that, some things that we are working on in the near future is integrating more blockchains. I can't provide you with the details just yet, but stay tuned for more on that.
For sure, that's good that you guys have that's like one area that they can go and check everything out at. But more speaking on that topic, how do you decide on which, I guess, projects and groups to collaborate with? Web3 obviously has such a collaborative nature in which all the brands sort of help one another out. But sort of, how do you pick who you guys collaborate with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Nansen recently created a few indices or indexes. And one of the indexes that we created was or is our Nansen NFT 500. So, as you would know, maybe in the traditional finance world, they have the S&P 500. That's going to be the largest U.S. companies based on market cap. So we did something similar, but for NFTs. So we take a look at the top 500 NFT collections based on their market cap, and we calculate market cap kind of based on the average price of the collection multiplied by the supply. So there's like a two-step approach. So this is probably more on the quantitative side of, if you are a part of the Nansen NFT 500, then that's one box checked for a potential collaboration. So as SVS has a relatively large market cap, you're a member of the Nansen NFT 500, so that was already a great pairing. So in addition to that, there's some more like qualitative and maybe even like anecdotal types of perspectives that we take. So first, we want to gauge what's the sentiment around the community. So sure, they've been able to become a member of the Nansen NFT 500, but what's the community sentiment? What do people think? What are their thoughts and feelings about the community? How engaged is the community? Are people providing input in the Discord? Is the community offering or adding value to its members? And then in addition to that, like how's the marketing and the brand awareness? And we when we were looking for a launch partner, we stumbled across SVS, and we thought that you checked all those boxes. I mean, it's been a pleasure to work with everyone here on the team. Seems like you're adding value. I mean, just through this partnership, adding tons of value to your community. So it just seemed like a really great match.
Yeah, it's also been a great pleasure for the SVS team to work with you as well in our community, to also have received, trials and so far 2 AMA demos, where they've been able to, I guess, witness, Nansen in all its glory and also hear us speak. So speaking on value, Chris, what value will we be providing the SVS community through the Nansen partnership?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you know, T, you and I worked together to kick things off back in March, even a little bit before then. And just for those of you who may be new to the SVS community and this partnership between Nansen and SVS, what we did in the beginning was we kicked off 2-week trials for members of the SVS community. And then from there, we wanted to not only just provide the community with trials, but provide you with demos and ask me anything sessions so we could add value and show you the value of all of Nansen's suite of analytics and dashboards. And during that time, we hosted 2 of these demos and Ask Me Anything sessions covering different workflows, whether that be token-based workflows and identifying what smart money is doing with tokens, or identifying what smart money entities are doing within the NFT space as well. So we covered these workflows. We also addressed any questions that the community had by the community members filling out surveys and questionnaires. So big thanks to everyone who participated in those surveys and questionnaires. It's your input is invaluable, and it was really great to get some feedback of what you thought about this partnership so far. Speaking of which, we had resounding positive feedback from the whole process. And I know that the community here has been eagerly and patiently waiting for some of the information and what the partnership looks like. So throughout the past couple months, we've been working on some tools to allow individuals at the SVS community to sign up to Nansen using their wallet. So just a few weeks ago, we launched our Web3 connectivity. So rather than signing up with an email address, individuals can now use their wallet to access Nansen. So then there was an even bigger component of that, and that's kind of where our next steps in our collaboration take place. So that's going to be NFT based discounts for the community. And how it will work is if you hold a SVS NFT, then sign up with your Web3 connectivity with your wallet. Nansen will understand you're holding an SVS NFT, and then you'll be able to gain access to Nansen at a discount. Before I go into like the discounts and the pricing, I actually just want to give a little bit of an update as to kind of what our next steps before that are going to be. So I know that there's been a little bit of time since the last time that we've kind of done AMAs and that people have been on trials. So as an act of goodwill, we want to kick off a 1-week trial for those who are interested, those that not only participate in the first survey, but also the subsequent surveys. But please reach out to T if you're interested or if you have any questions. So get your community members on a trial for 1 week, get them reacclimated and reacquainted to Nansen, see a lot of the new updates that we've put out there. particularly on our NFT tools. I think everybody will see a lot of value in changes that have taken place since back in March. And then once you have about a week, retesting Nansen, you're ready to go on it, and you get more of an understanding of what we have to offer, a refresher. Then we'll go ahead and kick off the NFT based discounts. So we're going to be offering a quarterly subscription, which at if at a monthly basis, that's typically 447. Our typical pricing for a quarterly right now, if you were to buy in bulk, is 399. So we're going to be offering that for 349 for SVS holders. So if you want to kick off quarterly, or you save a little bit more if you want to kick it off with a Nansen standard for a year, that's typically charged at 1,400, but we'll be giving a discount for 1199 on that. So those are some of the benefits for SVS holders, and I love to get any feedback, or after those trials are through, maybe I'll send out one last survey to the community. But feel free to reach out to T, and then T can reach out to me if anyone has any questions on that, or we can of course address questions at the end of this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris, very much. We really do appreciate the discount, and I know we do have a lot of members and holders that have been asking, about the discount and what we were getting if we were ever gonna proceed with it. Because of course, after using Nansen for the first trial and sitting through the demos, they've realized how much value they've been able to get from it. So really do appreciate the discount. And like you said, we have had some new faces in the layer, so we will try to offer some more opportunities depending on how you need, whether it's, wallets to be whitelisted or whatnot. We'll try to have another opportunity for everyone in the community to get to trial Nansen, before we do kick off the discount. So thank you very much, Chris. Really do appreciate that.
Yeah, of
And I'm
course,
sure
and
the
I
community
appreciate.
is very excited as well to get
Yeah,
into it.
no, absolutely, and I appreciate everyone's patience with waiting for us to get these integrations in. I really do appreciate it, and we just want to kind of have an act of goodwill and gratitude for waiting so patiently. So that's why we'll kick things off with the trial for a week, and then proceed with the Web3 connection if for whoever would like to sign up.
Likewise, I mean it's important. Patience is warranted, especially in this case. We're using assets to verify ownership, and to grant discounts. So it's definitely important to take your time with it and make sure that everything is in order before actually proceeding with any partnership. So thank you very much for that as well. I guess some questions just before we do break it off for today. What's some advice I guess you'd give to anybody who's just getting their hands on Nansen, and maybe who is a collector but wants to more so become a trader?
Sure, absolutely. And just have to say this with a disclaimer: this is not financial advice, but I would say, just from a more broad perspective, before getting into Nansen specifically, is if you do decide to move into trading, and just kind of talking from my own personal experience, is having a plan in place for, and not only just having a plan in place, but testing that plan, verifying that your strategy works, back testing your strategy before you even throw any capital into that particular strategy. So then once that strategy is verified and you find out that it works, also sticking to that when dealing with money, and maybe sometimes more money than you can afford to lose. Yeah, a lot of emotions can come into play with that. So maybe not being as much risk on, but maybe a little bit less risky with investments and trading. And then in addition to that, just not letting your emotions control or dictate you to diverge from your plan. So really just sticking to your plan. And how that kind of dives in with Nansen is, we provide you with all of the data and analytics, and you can form your own insights from that. But what I would say is, as I was alluding to a little bit earlier, was we have our smart labels, and these smart money labels and these different entities have their particular strategy. So when you are able to identify a strategy of your own that forms in line with what our smart money entities do, like you had mentioned earlier, T, maybe if somebody wants to get into trading, and trading it primarily would be on the secondary market, you want to try to take a look and see what these smart money NFT traders are doing, if it's going to be specifically for NFTs. So tracking their behaviors, setting up smart alerts, understanding where they're buying and when they're getting into different collections is going to be very important. And then forming your own strategy around that and sticking to that plan. So what we can do in the future, and if you'd like to set up another AMA session for this trial, I'm happy to do so. We can chat about that, but maybe going over a workflow where we take a look at a specific NFT trader label and take a look at some of the top dashboards that would be most valuable to an NFT trader, and identifying what these smart money entities are doing and where they're buying it at.
Absolutely, Chris. Where you really hit the nail on the head there was you mentioned, kind of piecing together the story. And as investors, we're piecing together the story of, just fogged by emotion, trying to put together what's happening and then how you can kind of, come up with your strategy, as you mentioned. And what Nansen really does is it really just lets you look past that emotion, grab the raw data and the raw numbers, and really piece together a clearer picture of what's happening. So for anybody, especially who's coming into the space, of there being so much risk, with it being crypto, I do think it is also valuable, like you mentioned, just erring on the side of caution and being careful, making sure do your own research. Nothing like you said, we're saying is financial aid. So do be careful out there, but we will have more opportunities for people to access Nansen, for any existing SVS holders. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Chris, thank you very much once again for joining us, and really providing our community with this awesome benefit, and showing us what Nansen has to offer.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate you and everyone in the community for giving us the opportunity to partner. And it's been fantastic. So thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nansen. Thank you, everyone in the audience today for tuning in. We really appreciate it. So stay tuned to the Discord, and we'll have more details about how to claim the discount, or the trials, and participate in the demo before we actually do the rollout for the discount. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone. And thank you, T.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.